Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
Sunny Hostin has said something stupid again on The View, so we're going to talk about it because The View is, of course, owned by Disney, and we love to dunk on Disney whenever we get a chance to. So let's talk about something stupid she said. Apparently, she compared the January 6th incident of 2020 to World War II and the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She literally went there.
So wait a minute.
Wait. She does that and she doesn't get fired, but Gina Carano says what she says and she gets fired?
That is exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, Gina Carano had a very mild opinion about World War II.
It wasn't even that.
It's like, don't demonize your neighbors. Basically.
Yeah, that's like the only way they can World War II can happen is if you turn everybody against each other, against their neighbors, and then everybody hates each other. And she wasn't wrong. Now this girl just goes up there and says, "Hey, the January 6th thing is the same as or is worse than World War II."
I can't.
How does she have a job?
That's a very good question. I don't think I'm going to be honest. I don't think she's going to for very much longer. This is the second time in a month and a half that she's gotten into hot water. She had to awkwardly read a legal memo from Disney's lawyers because she said some stuff on air she shouldn't have. And this is after George Stephanopoulos also got backhanded by Mickey.
Are they trying to argue that The View is about views and opinions, where that the other show was about, it was ABC, it was a news show? Well, so that's why he got hit harder than she did. Is that what they're going to try to argue?
We're going to talk about this.
I haven't read this, so I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I am thinking.
It's almost like I'm smart.
That they're going to say, well, these are just views and opinions. Well, how come other people working for or around the Walt Disney Company can have differing opinions, and they get fired, they get blacklisted.
They don't get to go on media lists anymore.
They don't get on media lists anymore. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you will get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to clownfishtv.com for more objective pop culture news. Also, check out clownfish-.com for our plus minus club, and piratesandprincesses.net for more Disney news. So I've got a lot of URLs. I gotta just put that in a commercial at the end of the video.
Here's the thing about the January 6th thing that gets me all the time is I don't think it should have happened. I'm going to be very clear about that. That being said, neither should the summer of riots. I'm sorry, peaceful protests.
Mostly peaceful protests. It was a very large wiener roast.
One of those was far worse than the other, but one you will never hear the end of, and the other one just disappeared. I just think it's really weird. And why isn't she ever bringing that up?
You're going to hear the end of it soon. And I'm going to get to that point because I was talking about it a little bit on Twitter today, that history is written by the victors. And what is going to happen is that all of this outrage over the last couple of years is going to basically get sidelined, memory hold, forgotten about. And people are going to look back at the era of performative wokeness as kind of like we did in the 80s at hippies. We're like, yeah, that was dumb. Yeah, that was a really dumb thing.
I just think that both are bad and should never happen, but one is seemingly accepted and the other one is supposed to be the worst thing ever. And I'm like, arguably the summer one was far, far, far worse. Yeah. Overall, I would argue that's much, much worse, and that just went away. And didn't we have an incident not that long ago where there were a bunch of people protesting inside the government buildings too about the Palestine thing? What happened to those people? Are they all sitting in jail for 4 years?
No.
I'm just saying there is a double standard. But either they have to either be treated the same way, or not at all, because they're both wrong. They're both crappy, but one is definitely being treated in one way and the other in another. And that's where I have a problem with. I don't think either should have happened, though.
Some of these people need to be treated treated to the unemployment line. Let's see what brain farts, or I'm sorry, kernels of wisdom that Sunny Hostin has put out there for us to consume today.
And moral clarity, in this country. And I just remember after January 6th,
pause for a second.
Like Mitch McConnell placing the
moral clarity coming from her.
Yes.
Okay. These are the people that blamed, Latino men and black men for losing the election. right?
Yeah, they were pretty salty about that.
So moral clarity, okay.
Moral clarity.
So basically the opposite of whatever she says.
Whoopi Goldberg, who used her massive platform and influence to put a bakery on blast because
she made assumptions.
She made assumptions that they were blacklisting her because of her politics. I'm like, why would you even make that assumption? Wait, people get blacklisted for politics?
Oh, yeah, you guys said it doesn't happen.
You said it doesn't happen.
The blame on January 6th where it belonged, squarely on Donald Trump's shoulders. And then you started seeing people backtrack that.
Grumbling in the audience.
And losing their moral center. You have
wait, pause a minute. Pause a minute. Losing your moral center. So basically, if you agree with one side, you're losing your moral center, which is a load of crap. But I also remember the January 6th thing. They were trying to send the National Guard in and stuff. And certain other people on the other side were making sure they were blocking that.
Yeah, that's.
This is a multifaceted issue.
The situation around January 6th is going to be rewritten. It's going to be retconned. It's going to be again. We'll get to this.
How about not rewrite it, but just tell us what the truth is?
It is, yeah.
That's what I want to know. I just want to know what the truth is. That's
this
what
is
people
all
want.
interconnected because we're going to do another video talking about Mark Zuckerberg and him walking back censorship. But he threw the media under the bus and basically said the media has been lying to us for years. And a lot of these narratives that have been perpetuated by the left-wing media will be undone. And
yeah, no, but if it's just more narratives on the right-hand side, it doesn't make a difference. What people want is the truth.
Have we ever really gotten the truth?
That's a good question.
The grand scheme of human history, I'm really going to go off on a side tangent here because
Well, should you save it for the other video?
I guess, or I'll save it for the end of this one.
We'll save it for the end of this one.
Sonny's thing here first.
Very show saying, we need to move on from January 6th.
Yeah.
I say no. Yeah. You don't move on because January 6th was an atrocity.
Okay, wait, pause again. Pause again.
Wait, whoa. The worst moment in American history?
Whoa. Okay, wait. I said we don't move on. I'm sure she said doesn't want to move on because then what the fuck is she going to talk about?
That's exactly
Sorry
it.
for swearing. What is she going to talk about anymore? What's she going to go on about every day if she doesn't have that to hinge on? I'm sorry. That was one of the worst days of of American history as opposed to all the people that were doing the same thing but for Palestine and they somehow didn't get in trouble. Or about, all the people that got killed, businesses that lost their whole business and everything over the riots in the summer. I'm going to say the riots because that's what they effing were. I mean, I think they initially started out as peaceful protests, but I think they were co-opted by certain groups to turn it into something else. And I think that wasn't fair, but that's what happened. That was far, far, far worse. And I'm saying both should never have happened. Both are bad. I'm not saying either that one's right and one isn't. Can we just acknowledge that they both weren't right? But she's really going too far because what else is she going to talk about?
Well, that's just it. And we're going to, and I think we'll talk more about that maybe after the clip here. Just like,
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting.
The left wing, that's okay. That's what people are here for. They're here to listen to you, not to listen to her.
Sorry.
But I think that the left wing media is going to scramble to try to find stuff to nitpick to hold on to whatever relevance they have. And it's ending very, very quickly. So they're going to whip up outrage, even if there isn't. They're going to party like it's 2017, even though it isn't.
And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II.
Oh my God.
Things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery. We need to never forget because past becomes pro.
Whoa.
If you forget any race.
Okay, wait.
What?
What the hell? She literally is saying we should not forget January 6th because it's on the same level as World War II and slavery.
And slavery and the Holocaust. It was, look, that's a whole nother issue. I don't even know how much we can talk about that on YouTube now. I don't know how much we're allowed to. Maybe we should talk about it on Facebook.
I'm just like, wait. You literally just got up there and told people.
I don't think it should have happened. So my personal opinion, people were wondering my personal opinion on it. I don't think it should have happened at all, but I think the media blew it way out of proportion.
I also don't think it should happen at all, but I do not think, I think that people on the other side were enabling it.
To make.
Yes. I think that they're, the doors just, the police just open the doors for no reason. There's videos of it.
Yeah, they're exactly the kinds of people we told you they were. Look at everybody. Look at how awful they are.
People, they were going to send a National Guard in and stuff to make sure it didn't get out of hand. And it wasn't the optics weren't right. And that's, verified and all that. So I'm just like,
think MAGA hat kid, but on a much larger level,
right. And I'm like, so I think that's why I said it's a multifaceted issue, because I think there's blame to go around. They keep wanting to put blame on one side, but there's plenty of blame on the other side as well. And it should never have happened. But by no means is that on the same level as the Holocaust, as slavery.
Verified body counts.
Right, as World War II.
Body counts,
I mean, to even insinuate that. And, Whoopi Goldberg made comments before about people being Jewish, and she was saying that, they weren't a race or whatever. And then she ended up having to apologize. And didn't she get like a break for like 3 weeks over it? And then Sunny's allowed to say whatever the heck she wants.
Okay.
How tone deaf.
If the American people pushing back against their government, and this is a whole sticky issue, but like, I'm just saying, how the hell do you think this country got started? I'm just being honest. Like, how did you think this country got started? Like, we were all just like, oh, please, Britain, can we just please kind of sort of, we'd like to kind of do our own thing, mommy and daddy. We'd like to, no, it's like, no, we're like, fuck you, toss the tea. We got a war going on. We had to fight for independence, right? And
now they tax us even more.
Now they tax us even more. Look at how we've come full circle, but worse, somehow worse.
Right? I just can't believe that she said that. Then she was, I
can totally believe it. She's not smart. She thinks she's smart. She's really not very smart.
Because she's mad that the woman that the black woman, apparently, I think she's like mixed, whatever, was not elected. The woman who no one picked. The woman who was, appointed to get to run, that there was no primary for, never got any electoral votes whatsoever, ever got votes in general, because they never got that far. People didn't want her to run. The person who ran their campaign into millions of dollars of debt, they're the one that should have been president. And that's what this is all about. Let's be honest. That's what she's so pissed about, because about being about race. I'm like, this has nothing to do with race. January 6th had nothing to do with race. That had nothing to do with any of that stuff. Like, this is apples and oranges for one, but you cannot equate January 6th to the flippin' Holocaust. Why doesn't she? No, I demand, you know what? I'm not usually like this. I demand her ass be fired. And I'll tell you why I demand her ass be fired. Because Gina Carano said something much, much more fair and balanced. And she got fired for her abhorrent views on the Holocaust. But Sunny Hostin can say this on The View and she doesn't get fired. She's comparing January 6th to all the people who were killed in the Holocaust. You better fire her ass, Disney, or you're going to have a real big legal problem on your hands.
I think I'm going to tell you the truth. I think they're keeping her around because people are only watching The View right now to see what dumb shit her and Whoopi say.
Yeah, that might be the case. But the problem is they're handing Gina Carano a win. Yeah. They're just handing her one. I'm like, which do they want more? The views on The View, or the massively big public, lawsuit going on with being for termination over political views?
So this is apparently pushing back against the co-host, I guess. Alyssa Farah Griffin, a former aide to President-elect Donald Trump, rehashed the Democrats' loss and noted that, yes, democracy matters, but if you can't pay your bills, it's hard to care about something as nebulous as democracy. I think the warning signs were there, and I say this with due respect to Joe Biden. I didn't disagree with the word he said in that Washington Post op-ed, but people were saying we have concern about your age. He waited until August and then gave Kamala Harris this runway to run for president. All the warning signs were there. It's true. Democrats should be angry. You should be very angry because your party lied to you about Biden's mental state. The Biden administration lied to the whole country about his mental state.
And then, like I said, a lot of people would have probably still voted for somebody else. They've been allowed to pick the candidate, but they weren't allowed to pick the candidate because if they do that, they probably had to give the money back.
Yeah. She continued, this was Democrats. They had a chance to stop Donald Trump from being inaugurated, but here we are. I hope the whitewashing of January 6th ends. It wasn't right and it never will be, no matter how much people lie about it. This was avoidable in my book.
It was avoidable in the fact that both sides, I think, were involved in it. One side trying to make the other side look worse and one side taking it too far. Both sides are wrong, but you never hear about that. You want to talk about what you never hear about. You never hear about, and then when it came down to like people, they were allowed to be questioned about it. Why would you not be allowed to be questioned about it when you were involved in it? Is that a little weird to anyone?
Yeah. Now it's interesting, because Biden had this op-ed piece in the Washington Post, and he said that the election is going to be certified peacefully,
which it should have been then too. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and it's going to be a peaceful transition of power. Did you see the look on Biden's face after Trump won? Like, I'm sorry. I think Biden wanted Trump to win to stick it to Harris. I don't think Biden wanted Harris to run. He wanted to run. I think they pushed him out, but they waited until the 11th hour to do it. Like, most people didn't even know how to pronounce Kamala Harris's first name.
I didn't.
I didn't. I thought it was Kamala Harris. Or like Kamehameha. Yeah, or something like. But I was just like, I didn't know because you never saw her.
Won if she'd gone by that name.
You never. Yeah, you would have. She would have. Yeah. But you never saw her. They hid her for like 4 years. And they're like, oh, surprise. With like 2-3 months on the clock, we're gonna drag her out and she's gonna run for. Because we don't want to give the money back. We don't want to give the money back.
I'm still waiting from the pool that they're gonna make her president for like 2 days or a day or something, so they can claim that they had the first female president who never was elected by anyone. Which as a woman I find insulting because I mean that would happen. That would be insulting to women. But I can't wrap my head. And then her comments, like she's so. I don't get it. Like, I'm not normally one to say someone should be fired. I don't believe in that. I think I just don't. But in this case, if you're gonna hold people accountable and you're gonna fire one person, then this is egregious and it needs to be fired as well.
So this is I think this is a Jewish publication here, and they're
not probably happy.
They're not happy. Yeah, they said Hostin's words set off a firestorm of criticism on social media, with many observers taking offense to her comparison of January 6th to the systemic murder of 6 million Jews during the Holocaust. So the backlash is fierce from the Jewish community. It's disgusting to compare January 6th to the Holocaust, wrote Samuel Stern, who's a rabbi. This Holocaust minimization by Hostin is so mind-blowingly offensive. It's hard to believe these fools still have a platform.
I don't understand why she isn't having to read a statement or apologize.
Yeah, this is a 9/11 first responder and grandchild of a Holocaust survivor. Look how stupid everything has become. This is National Security Advisor to Ted Cruz. One insult to every Jewish person on the planet, past and present, breathtaking minimizing of one of the worst things to happen in human history. Because she doesn't have any
CNN analyst.
Yeah, she has no frame of reference. Like,
I'm sitting here like, again, Gina Carano said basically, how did the Holocaust happen? We all wonder how people turned on their friends. And they said it was because they had to make them hate each other first. And she wasn't wrong. It's like, how is it different than hating people for political views? Yeah. Not wrong what she said. Never took a political side, but she wasn't incorrect. And that gets you fired. But this, she's still, I'm assuming because at this point in time, the show would have aired if she didn't.
Is she going to go on a break? They going to put her on a break? She needs to go. Like, of anybody on The View, she needs to go. She is a liability. She is constantly putting her foot in her mouth. She's constantly putting the company in danger of getting sued for defamation. Like, if she wants to go off on her own person, I'd love to see her go do her own podcast or something. I'd love to see what the numbers are for that. Like, you go do your own podcast, Sonny, and do it on YouTube so we can see how many people actually watch you. Because it's kind of like Don Lemon. He went to YouTube and he's not getting very many views. But yeah, just to bring, I was just going to bring this up again, because what's going to happen is that all of this stuff is, I'm not going to say it's going to get memory hold, but I think it's going to be put in different perspective by the incoming administration and whatever happens after that. And the media has spent so much time obsessing about it that, I think people are just, people are numb to it. They're tired of hearing about it. And I think that it's gonna get memory hold. They'll be like, oh yeah, there were some protesters at January 6th and something. I forget what happened.
Yeah, but it is never gonna be remembered on the same level as World War II.
Because World War II.
The Holocaust or slavery.
I mean, seriously. Like, she's gotta be one of the dumbest people on TV at this point. We're gonna wrap it up. Mm-hmm. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.